How y'all be today? I know all of y'all was sitting out there. They calls me Harriet Tubman. And I hear tell it's a lot of y'all out here that don't really understand what the Underground Railroad really was all about. It wasn't no choo-choo train rolling down no track, and it wasn't a bunch of people crawling up under the ground. That's not what it was. You see, here in the Underground Railroad, well, it was just people. People helping out other people. That's all it was. I remember just like it was yesterday, when I was just a little girl, growed up on what they call the plantation, down there in Bucktown, Maryland. I growed up there with my mama, my pappy, my sisters and brothers. Mr. Broders, he owned all of us like the cows and the hogs. We worked for him from sunup to sundown every day. Even when I was just a young'un, I had to change them muskrat traps. Lord have mercy, almost lost my hand. See, when I was a little girl, they called me Minty. Minty for short. Hey, Minty, come here. My name was Araminta. It was only till I get myself free that I changed my name to Harriet. That was my mama's name, see? Oh, I remember that night. I remember that night when I decided I was going to get my freedom. Pappy, his name was Ben Ross, my pappy. He walked outside with the lumbermen, and he heard tell of this place they called Canada. Y'all heard tell of it, ain't you? Canada, yeah. Everybody say Canada. Yay, that's it. Ha ha! Woo! Have mercy. We called it the Promised Land. Because when you get there, you promise you're going to be free. Ooh, when Pappy told me about that, I dream about it every night when I was just a little girl. I dream I fly over there one day and I'd be free. Yeah. But anyway, this night, I was sitting out here in front of the big White House, all waiting on my sister. She was washing up the dishes. And all of a sudden, it got dark outside, and I looks up and the moon is full, the stars is bright, and I looked at that front gate. I got to thinking, what it'd be like to get on the other side. Something come over me right about then. I don't know what it was, but I gets all warm inside and start shaking a little. And I tell you, the next thing I knowed, I could outrun it. Yeah, I done, sissy. I could outrun it right between them gates. I got to running and running. I ran as fast as I could go. I run it and run it and run it. And I reckon I run about 4 or 5 days. Hiding up in the bushes and the trees during the daytime, and at nighttime I run some more. Oh Lord, I was a running thing, and I did just like Pappy say. I followed that river. After a while I got tired. I got so tired I ain't gonna lie to y'all, my head was real tight. I sit myself down over yonder by that oak tree over there. And I sitting there, and all of a sudden I look across the way, and I seen another oak tree, sissy, and it had a little barn right next to it. And I looks at that, and I said, I be, Lord, I was lost. I seen that place yesterday. I've been going around in circles all this time. Lord, I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know what was north, what was south, east, or west. I just had to stand there and pray to the good Lord. I figured He's the only one that can help me. I said, Lord, I know you ain't brought me all this way to leave me here. Now you send me a sign, Lord. Don't you let them bounty hunters catch me. You know, Mouse gonna send them hound dogs. Don't let them catch me, Lord, please. I ain't got nobody else to go to but you, Lord. You gotta help me get to freedom. Oh, Lord, please. Don't let them catch me. Don't let them catch me, Lord. When I looked up, way over yonder up on that hill up there, I could see people, coloreds and whites, and looked like Mexican people too. They was looking at me, and one of them did this, he said, so I run up there. When I gets myself up there, you know what they tell me? They say, you free now. Yeah. I said, what is y'all talking about? They say, it's true. You done run yourself all the way up into Pennsylvania. And this here is a free state. Ain't no slavery here. And you standing on this free ground, that's free land, that make you free. Just like that. Just like that, I tell you, I was free. I couldn't believe it. Had to look at my hands, make sure that they was the same hands I started out with. All of me. I was free. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I told you the good Lord was going to send me some kind of sign. He going to always answer your prayers. He going to always. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. I got them dancing around and jig. Woo! How you doing? How you doing? I'm free. I'm free now. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, I thank you, Lord, so much. All of a sudden, I thought about my mama. And my pappy and my sisters and brothers and uncles and aunties. Well, I had to go back. Y'all go back get y'all mama, wouldn't you? Sure you would. That's just what I done too. I turned myself all the way around, went all the way back down south. All the other Negroes looking at me talking about, you crazy Harriet Tubman. You crazy to go back down there. Don't you know they gonna get you? They gonna hang you on the highest tree. Sure enough, there was bounties out on me. Some people say it started at $1,500, went all the way up to $40,000. $40,000 for anybody to catch little old Harriet Tubman. Woo! They wanted me something awful, huh? Lord have mercy. Posters everywhere. Harriet Tubman, wanted, dead or alive, catch her. Runaway slave. But guess what? They never catch me. No, they never get none of that reward money. You know what I think it was, cheering? Good Lord. I figured he was watching over me all the while. I didn't have no fear no more. I kept going back and forth, taking people to the promised land. Oh yeah, that fella in Philadelphia, what's his name? Mr. William Steele. Y'all say that. William Steele. He was the headquarter man for the Underground Railroad. Anybody come to Philadelphia, coming out of slavery, he write the names down and all, and get them a place to stay, or I take them all the way up to Canada. It was all right to get into the slave states before that law come out. The law called the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. When they started that law, it wasn't safe to be in the United States no more. Had to get them all the way out the United States into Canada. St. Catherine's, up there where I stayed with the nuns. Oh, cheering. Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. We stole away in the middle of the night. Sometimes we had to take the babies with us. It's hard to keep them little whippersnappers quiet when they hungry and old. We had to give them a herb, a drug called paregoric. Lord, put a little of that liquid all on their mouth. They lick it off. When they finish licking it off, they go to sleep. Them little whippersnappers stay asleep 4 or 5 days before they wake up. We had to keep them quiet. They get to whining and crying because they ain't got no food. Them bounty hunters gonna hit. And we all gonna get caught. Had to give it to the women folks too, because they was crying and whimpering. They was scared for their lives. We give them that same drug, put them to sleep. The men folks had to pack the women's on their backs while they slept. Had to be quiet. Underground Railroad was a secret. If you ain't never heard, it was a secret, chillin'. Your ancestors wasn't out in them fields singing them songs because they liked to sing. They was sending messages to each other through the songs, through the codes and the quips. Tell you which way to go. Tell you what's up ahead. Oh, they want to say it ain't so. But cheering, I was there. Oh, yeah. And one thing I ain't gonna never forget is them bloodhounds coming after us. Oh, you hear them hound dogs coming? Ooh, you know you had to do something. We carried something for them in our freedom bag. Oh, yeah. I could hear them now. Ow! Oh! 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 Ow! That's what they sound like. You always carried some of that black pepper. Or maybe some of that red cayenne pepper. Ha ha! Put it down on the ground about right yonder. Get behind the bushes. Wait for them hound dogs to come sniffing. They gonna come sniffing all right. They can smell your blood. They get about right yonder, sniffing. That pepper gonna go up in their nose. It's gonna burn the inside the nose so bad they gonna have to run to the water. You gonna hear them running all right. Them hound dogs running to the water, and it give us just enough time to get closer to freedom this way. Oh, cheering. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared out there. I made a promise to the good Lord. I said, Lord, you get me free, I'm gonna get my people free too. They called me Moses, just like Moses in the Bible got his people free. They hear me coming, everybody know. If you wanted to go free, meet me on the edge of the plantation. Oh, I could have saved 1,000 more if they just would have known they were slaves. I ain't never run my train off the track, and I ain't never lost no passenger. I remember I gets word that old Master Broder's gonna sell my brothers. All 4 of them. I had to go back, Dan. I wasn't gonna let that happen. Gonna send them down south, have them picking tobacco and cotton and sugar cane. I wasn't gonna have it. I get down there late that night. I told my brothers, y'all stay in that barn back there and you be quiet. And don't you tell Mama nothing. Mama get to crying. Master gonna know something up. So while we was waiting on the moon to get full, it was this other big buck. He wanted to go with us.
Me, Harriet. I can go free. That y'all been talking about.
You want to go free, boy?
Yeah, I want me some free too.
All right then. All right, that's good. That's good. Now we gonna be real quiet.
I want free too. I want free.
We gonna get up there, go around that bend there.
Yeah, okay.
Then it's gonna be this wide body of water. We're gonna have to cross over that.
No. I not want free water. I can't.
No, you come back here, big buck.
No, I can't swim. I can't swim.
Well, ain't nobody going back. No, I ain't sending nobody back, no. Master gonna beat you. You gonna tell it. Get across that water. I say get across that water right now. And don't you come back this way. Y'all should have seen that big buck here. He ran across that water. And when I get him all the way to Canada, where he was really free, y'all should have seen him then. That big buck was so glad to be free. He was running up and down the street, laughing and crying and talking to himself just like a big old sissy. Y'all should have seen him. I'm free now. Thank you, Lord. I'm free. I'm free. Y'all should have seen that boy. He was a sight for sore eyes, I tell you. And then he come to me, and he looked down at me. He had a big old crocodile tear in his eye. He said, Miss Harriet, well, I'm so glad you encouraged me to keep going. And after that, that same big buck was a conductor too. I wasn't the only one. There was many more. Those we ain't gonna never know their names. But it was a secret, see? Don't let nobody tell you, no, never mind that the Underground Railroad was just for colored folks. That ain't true. It was all kinds of people helping out all along the way. Portuguese, Dutch, Indians, Germans, Irish, white folks. Colored folks owned houses, they were station masters too. See, you see a lantern in the window or a candle in the window, you know that's a safe station house. All you gotta do is knock on the door. They're gonna give you help, food, let you rest. Next morning, the mister gonna put you in a drop-down wagon, lay sacks of potatoes on top of us. He took us all the way across 2-3 counties, get us closer to freedom. It never would have worked if we didn't have all kinds of people helping out. I know y'all don't understand much what Miss Harriet trying to tell y'all. Y'all don't know nothing about getting no freedom. That's because y'all already free, ain't you? Or is you? Huh? I've been watching down here. Good Lord took me home back in March 10th, 1913. And I've been watching over y'all all this time. I begged the good Lord, I said, Lord, I gotta go back down there and check on my people, make sure they still free like I left them. After all that work I done, he let me come down here for a little while. I ain't got long cheering. See, I figured y'all could all help. I've been watching the cheering outside and the youngins, and they lost. They're running around and they don't know A from B. And then the boys, they walking around, they got their paints hanging all over them, like they done on the plantation. And girls ain't got no clothes on at all. You know, they put your ancestors out there in them hot fields with no clothes on, so they wouldn't run off. Seems like the same thing happening all over again. That fella W.E.B. Du Bois, he say a man that don't know his history is bound to repeat it. Lord have mercy. I thought about them days I was down in South Carolina with them colored soldiers. They called them the U.S. colored troops, Buffalo soldiers. Yeah, Miss Harriet Tubman worked with them. See, I went down there during the Civil War. Y'all know about the Civil War. Yeah, I was there. And I cooked for them boys. I nursed on them. And I was a spy. Yeah, late at night, I'd go on the Confederate side. And I tell the general I'm gonna cook them up a good meal. They let me cook all right. While I was cooking, I was listening to everything they said. Later that night, I clean up, I go back on the Union side. I tell the Union general everything I heard. We win that battle next day. Cause Miss Harriet Tubman listening. They say I was the only woman they know of ever to lead men into battle. Oh, I don't take none of it for myself. Good Lord, He the one that guided me all the way. But back to these cheering here, I need y'all's help. I didn't come here today just to tell you no stories, no. I need y'all. See, I say, Lord, if I go back down there, It's been 100 years now since I was here. Yeah. Things got to change after 100 years, don't y'all figure? Yeah, so I say, Lord, I'll go back down there and get them soldiers again, and then get all these young folks, see, because them the ones that's going to make the future yours, see? And I figure if y'all could join up with me and them soldiers, we could turn this whole world around. All you gotta do is make me a promise that you're gonna turn around like I done and help somebody along the way. Take a little child, teach him his words, teach him his numbers so he can figure for himself, and teach him where he come from. Maybe then they'd be real proud that they come from kings and queens, and they pull their pants up and walk tall and proud, see? I figured we could do this. Girls had their clothes on and not so many babies running around, don't have no daddies, and we got to stop this. And then you know what else? Half of them little children can't read and write. And y'all got schools? What's going on down here? So I figured y'all join up with me. Everybody promised they're going to take one child and teach him to read and write and all that. And then he'd be free. That's the only way they're going to be free today. They can take the money out of their pockets. They can't never take that learning out their heads. So if y'all want this next generation to be free like y'all better turn around. So y'all raise your right hand and make Miss Harriet Tubman a promise. That's all you have to do. I said, raise your hand right now. Get up, every last one of them. Way back there, get them up high. I can't see you. Raise your hand for the next generation. Repeat after me. I promise, Miss Harriet, that I'm going to read more every day. And I promise I'm going to turn around. I'm going to help somebody to read. That's all I wanted, children. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. I wasn't going to shoot y'all. I just wanted to encourage y'all a little bit. Like I had to do that big buck going to the river. Y'all got to keep going. Don't stop. I don't care what color he is, how old he is. We got to turn around. Help these children. We going to have hell to pay. I thank y'all for coming here listening to my words. Thank you, Lord. I know they're going to keep their promise. Yeah. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Swing low. That was my favorite song. I sing it all the time. It was a cold song, too. It means get down low in the bushes. Stay down there till I tell you the coast is clear. Then we going on to freedom. Going on to the promised land. Sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I thank you. I thank you. Miss Harriet. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give the big buck a hand. Come on out, big buck. That's Raymond Key. Come on out, say hi to the big buck. He finally became our conductor. Thank you, Mr. Raymond Key from Jackson State University. Played back with Mr. Walter Payton back there. But thank you so much for your attention. My name is Melissa Waddy Thibodeau, and we celebrate Harriet Tubman at the Buffalo Soldier Museum because she was the only female to ever lead men into battle. Give you some facts. I've been to a lot of schools and libraries, and I'm just worried about the children. Had a little 4th grade girl at one of the libraries wanted me to listen to her report for Rosa Parks, and I asked her sister to get up and help her read it. Her sister had to give her every word. I'm like, this can't be true. But it is. And I know somebody in here knows somebody that's not reading on the level they should be, or not at all. I pray that you would keep your promise that you made to Harriet Tubman and turn around and help somebody. We are in big trouble. If you Google the illiteracy rate in America, you'll see what I'm talking about. But what I'd like to do is answer any questions you may have about this story, something you've never learned about. Can anybody tell me how they threw the hound dogs off once they came after them? What did they do? Yes, ma'am.
Black pepper.
Black pepper on the ground, get in the hound dog's nose, they lose the scent. The red pepper would work much better though, I think. And yes, ma'am?
Can you tell us more about the, the fugitive law?
The Fugitive Slave Act, yes, it's 1850 Fugitive Slave Act meant that if you ran from a plantation, that your master had the right to come into any state in the United States and take you back. That's what that law provided. So it made 12 years a slave happen. Solomon Northrop was taken during that period of time because any black person walking around, young, old, didn't matter. It was like crack cocaine. Grab them and run. You could sell them for big money. Yeah, absolutely. And the selling of human bodies is still going on. So that's why I say the Underground Railroad is still going on. There are people in secret places helping people that need help. And I think we all need to tune into that. It didn't end. It just changed the color, maybe the type of slaves, but they're still slaves today. And I'll stress again, if you don't have a good education, then you're primed to be somebody's slave in life. So I tell the children that they must learn. They have to read. But I need you guys at this level to turn around and help those teachers in elementary, middle school, even high school. Young man taller than me, he got through the first sentence and he couldn't go no further. I tell you, it's bad. All right, another question. Was the Underground Railroad really a train? No. The kids today think it went under the ground and Martin Luther King was driving. I've heard him tell me this. We got to get it right. And another thing, we do Rosa Parks as well, making sure that children understand that she was not tired. That is not the reason why she did not get up off that bus that day. She was only tired of giving in. She wasn't tired physically. I think that would make them think about that story a little bit more. One other question. What did Harriet Tubman do for the United States or the Union Army during the Civil War?
Spy.
That's right. Most people don't know that. Spy, cook, and everything. But I think she got away with a lot of this because she only stood about that tall. Sojourner Truth, who was way before Harriet, could have been her mother, was about this tall. A lot of times people get them mixed up. Harriet came from Ghana, West Africa, had no mixed blood in her. They were all short, low people, very strong, very dark skinned.
Was she ever able to get any of her other siblings out? I know she went back for her brothers, but
she was able to go back and get her brothers and successfully came back and got other members of her family and other people that were not members of her family. And the proudest day of her life was when she took her mother and her father on into freedom. By then they were so old, she had to make a makeshift bed, attach it to a mule, and drag them into freedom. They were too old to walk. Harriet Tubman died at 93 years old. Anybody remember the year? Yes, ma'am, in the back.
1913.
1913, same year, Rosa Parks was born. Just a note there. Yes, ma'am.
That was my question. How old was she when she died?
Yes, ma'am. of pneumonia, 93 years old. And I don't know if you remember the story about Harriet being hit in the head while she was on the plantation. Okay, good. Some of you do. That hit in her head played a big part in her health throughout her life. It was a tumor growing inside, and it would press on a nerve that would put her to sleep. Sleeping sickness. Anytime, anywhere, she may just drop down and go to sleep, even while they were trying to get to freedom. People get all excited. She's asleep. What are we going to do? Wake up! Wake up! Harriet would get up, go along the way. Harriet had one route. She did not go all over the United States. One route, and I'd like you to Google that just to see. And that is why she possibly never got caught. She knew everybody on her route, going and coming. They'd hide her out and whoever she had with her. Another thing she did, she wore breeches. Breeches. Back in Harriet Tubman's days, women did not wear breeches. So if you wore breeches, you were a man. So Harriet knew this. Smart. She put on a man's hat, a man's jacket, a man's pants, walked around town. They didn't know it was her. Disguise. Went on to do some more research and found out that there were over 400 white women. I don't know how many blacks or other nationalities did it, but they shaved their hair, put on pants, and joined the army along with their husbands, brothers, uncles. They didn't want to be left behind. And they made money. You have to understand, people joined the army because they were paying. They were paying. Any more questions? Good questions, please. Any more? People ask, did Harriet Tubman have a baby? If she did, she kept it quiet. I looked at some pictures from her as a young girl all the way to her elderly years. At one point, she was a bit bigger.
What about this drug that they use? Where did it come from?
The drug that they use to quiet the babies. Yes.
Yes, Paragora.
You know about it.
Oh, yes.
Please stand up and tell these young people what you know. Please tell us.
It came in a little green bottle.
Yes,
if I
ma'am.
remember.
Yes.
But they gave it to babies, especially for upset stomachs. But they've actually taken it off the market now. I don't know what's in it, but
It's a derivative of the opium plant.
yeah, that's what it was.
So you know how strong opium is.
From a plant.
The plant, yes, the opium plant. It was sold in the drugstores, like she said, in a little bottle, liquid, but people got to abusing it. They go and buy it, say, oh, I'm getting this for my baby, got colic. They go in the back room and drink it down. Oh yeah. You know, so they took it off the market because of abuse of the drug. But they're still using it, I'm told by a nurse, in the hospitals for babies who are born to young mothers who are addicted to crack cocaine. The babies come out uncontrollable, fidgeting. They give them that same drug to calm them down. I thought that was awesome. They're still using it, just the public can't have it. Yes, sir.
Well, this hit home base because we own restaurants, and we got kids that are 12th grade, 11th grade, even graduated, and they can't fill out an application. I mean, they just really can't fill out the application. It's sad.
It is.
I mean, it really is.
Yes, it is.
I'm looking at a guy graduated high school, and he can't barely write his name.
And you're wondering, how did this happen?
How did
Right. How did he get through?
It's upsetting, but I'm glad I sat through this.
I'm so glad you're here, sir, and I feel what you're feeling, because I've seen it. And I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but y'all need to see it. And maybe if you're human, you say, how can I help? How can I help? Yes, ma'am.
Around my high school years, I had a couple friends, and then just like we don't want to do the work, I always have to push them through, just making sure they do the work.
You helped him? You helped him, sweetheart?
Yes, I would always help them.
Thank you so much. And that's what I ask the children, help each other. If you know how to read better, help them, don't laugh at them. Because the reason why that young man made it all the way through out of high school, because he was embarrassed to tell anybody and ask for help. So when we find people like that, you somehow have to secretly kind of give them help. I'm going back to that young girl I saw, and I'm going to help her to read. I've made my mind up about that. I'm gonna find her.
It's upsetting because when you finally do hire them, you're teaching math. You're teaching basic skills that they should have learned in the 2nd, 3rd, 5th grade. They have no clue on any math skills, and you're actually teaching them not only to work, but you're teaching them to read, write, math, and everything else.
Everything else.
Everything
To
else.
think,
Right.
to listen. They're not learning any of this. I think we need to start an initiative. And I'm gonna make you president. An initiative on reading. We gotta do this underground reading railroad. That's what Harriet's calling it. And if we all join up, like she says, we can turn this world around. We can make a difference. Can you imagine what it's like to live and not be able to read? I know there's a lot of people that do it. The truck drivers read the signs. Kids can read signs, but we got to do something about it. And I thank you all for being here today. I wish this place was packed, but everybody spread the word, okay? Thank you so much. Y'all's free to go.